This is your daily briefing. You're most welcome to it. Antonio Conte's given us his Southampton pre-match presser, which means there's only one more sleeps until the kick-off of the Premier League season. The gaffer said this: "We are trying to do things with common sense. I'm trying to improve the club in the right direction, but it is not simple. We are trying not to make mistakes in the transfer window." Whoever could he be referring to, I wonder? Alfredo Padula not had a great window, hasn't had a great window for some time, becoming a little bit irrelevant, mate. I'll give you January. If you don't improve, you won't be here next summer. But he says AS Roma's sporting director Tiago Pinto flew into London to discuss a deal with Tottenham for Nicolo Zaniolo and several other deals. We'll see if there's any echo of truth in that as time goes by. Fabrizio Romano and Di Marzio and Jason Burt from The Telegraph all chipping in on the Udogie story. Inter Milan, Manchester City and Brighton and Hove Albion all interested in Udogie, but Tottenham have the strength and will reach the finish line first. That's from Di Marzio. Romano says that Fabio Paratici and Antonio Conte are both admirers of Destiny Udogie. The negotiations are progressing well as Udinese want to keep Udogie on loan until 2023. Bert says, yeah, it's about to happen as well. Keeping him on loan until June 2023. My suggestion is don't get too excited about that one. Conte with another quote about ambition this season. Asked what success would look like for Spurs. Would it be winning a domestic cup? A little ball fella felt as though somebody had just walked across his grave as those words were uttered. Why not the Premier League and the Champions League, he says, laughing. My target and the club's target is to improve the process we started 7 months ago. Very diplomatic. Conte on injuries at the moment. We only have one player who will definitely miss Southampton. That is Oliver Skipp. Bissouma took a knock at Roma, you might recall. Conte says still nothing serious, but I don't want to take a risk with anyone for the next games, and rightly so. Interesting piece from Dave Kidd in The Sun, which I would commend to you. I'll put the link in the description. And he just basically points out that there's an awful lot of talk about London clubs, but the reality is that they're not doing very well. They're not living up to the hype and the expectation. And I saw a chart. I'll see if I can dig it out. If so, it'll appear behind me or next to my head or something here. From The Athletic about hope. Like who's got the greatest expectations for their club? And Spurs and Arsenal were in joint top place. And Kidd points out the reality doesn't reflect this in terms of like the likelihood of this actually transpiring, and says, quite calmly and matter-of-factly, which I know doesn't go down with a lot of football fans particularly well, that the gap between Chelsea and Manchester City, champions, not a dirty word, winning, champions, not dirty words, for the last 2 seasons has been 19 points. Then goes through the quality of the purchases that the clubs have made. Refers to Romelu Lukaku, wrong end of 100 million. Tanguy Ndombele, nearly half that, just over half that. Nicolas Pepe, 72 million. And then Chelsea's, not spent wisely either. And he concludes, you have to give this house room that they simply, referring to City and Liverpool, they don't spaff money like the London clubs do. Little bit of housekeeping, tidying up as we go along here. Jacob Steinberg tells us that Brighton have failed with a move for Tottenham's Sergio Reguilon. Yeah, maybe, who knows? We need to get rid of that guy, simply do. The gap between where we were and where we are now, for all the huff and puff, and I'm going to go through it, might be tomorrow, might be after the season's underway a bit, but that 150 million, we're going to come back to that, we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about net spend, because we're grown-ups. Conte on next season. We must not be presumptuous and arrogant. We must not think that just in 7 months we have reduced a gap that has existed for a very long time with Liverpool, Manchester City and Chelsea. Yeah, you've got to listen to these voices. You've got to listen to these voices. Oliver Skipp update, hairline fracture of the heel. That sounds fantastic. And here we go, the John Craven's news round, novelty item at the end. AC Milan see Tottenham's Pape Matar Sarr as a suitable alternative to PSG-bound Renato Sanchez.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Who wouldn't? That's it for now. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.